Hi, Year 3. Today we're going to learn about perpendicular lines. That's quite a long word. Can you say perpendicular? Let's clap at how many syllables. Perpendicular. 5 syllables. A really long word. I'm going to put on a little video. It's a funky song which is hopefully going to help you understand what perpendicular means before we do some more work.
Lines that are perpendicular on the rectangle's perimeter. Or let's break it down even simpler. They make right angles in particular. Parallel lines never meet. Lines make these. Lines meet at 90 degrees, which is if the second thing perpendicular, irregular. Now let's talk about detecting if two lines are intersecting. It's the term that we select if at any point two lines connect. Parallel lines never meet. Lines make these. Lines meet at 90 degrees. If the second thing perpendicular, irregular. Lines will never touch them, you can tell that those two lines are parallel. Like these telephone wires up above the street. Parallel lines will never meet. Parallel lines never meet. Lines make these. Lines meet at 90 degrees. If the second thing perpendicular, irregular.
Okay, hopefully you now have an understanding of what perpendicular means. We also heard the word parallel there. We're going to be learning more about parallel lines tomorrow. Okay, so let's have a look in our maths no problem. So perpendicular lines are where two lines meet and they make a right angle. Now we learned about right angles last week, so you could use your right angle tester to help you. So if we look here, this is these are perpendicular lines because this is a right angle. These two lines meet here, so they are perpendicular lines. They meet at a right angle. You can see how your right angle tester would help you. If you use your right angle tester against your home book, you will find that there is a right angle in each corner, so they are perpendicular lines. So two straight lines that meet at a right angle are called perpendicular lines. Now sometimes we might label the lines because it's easier for us to say where they are. So for example, over here, this line is labelled A on that side and B over here. So this line, we would call it AB. It's easier than me just saying this line, that line, the horizontal line. It's a bit confusing, isn't it? So this line is AB. This line here is CD because this end of the line is C and this end is D. So if I'm thinking about the lines AB, is the line AB perpendicular to the line CD? Now let's have a look. Here we've got a right angle. We can see it's a right angle, it's been marked off, which means that AB is perpendicular to the line CD. I know we've got lots and lots of words today and it's quite confusing. So really concentrate on this. The line AB is perpendicular to the line CD. Why is it perpendicular? Because where they meet, it forms a right angle. Now let's look at this angle here. We definitely have an angle, and hopefully you've recognised it's an acute angle, smaller than a right angle. We've got lines EF and the line EFG. Now, obviously they meet, we can see that they meet, but are they perpendicular? Well, they're not perpendicular because, as we said, this is an acute angle, not a right angle. It needs to be a right angle in order to be a perpendicular line. Are you with me now? Hopefully that is starting to make sense. Let's have a look over here. Which pairs of lines are perpendicular? So we have the line JK and the lines LM. Now if you have your right angle detector at home with you, you could measure and see, is this a right angle? And you will find that they do make right angles. So because these angles are all right angles, then we can say that JK is perpendicular to LM. But here, PQ and line RS, well, these angles are not right angles. This is an acute angle, obtuse angle, another acute angle, and another obtuse angle. So PQ is not perpendicular to RS. Now, here we've got a triangle. And we know that a triangle has got three sides, so there are three lines. We have the line XY, and the line YZ, and the line XZ, or ZX. Now, this angle is not a right angle. So ZX and ZY are not perpendicular. The same with this angle, it's not a right angle. So XY and YX are not perpendicular. However, over here, it is a right angle, which means that this line, ZX, is perpendicular to this line, XY. That shows us that in some shapes, we can have right angles, some shapes have no right angles, and some might have a mixture. If there is a right angle, we have perpendicular lines. That is the part to really put into your brain. Where we have right angles and the lines meet, they make perpendicular lines. Your right angle checker will be really helpful. And they're easy to make because you could just get the end of a piece of paper to check your right angles. Okay, let's have a look at these. So you can discuss, we can talk about them now, or you can pause the video and discuss it with somebody in your family. Let's have a look here first of all. Which pairs of lines are perpendicular? So we've got line MN and line OP. Look with me at the angles. You can use your right angle checker. Do you think there are any right angles there? Let's look at the next one. QR and RS. Is this a right angle? And over here we've got TU and UV. Is this angle a right angle? Now, I don't think this is a right angle. I think this is an acute angle. I think here we have an acute angle here, and an obtuse angle here. But I do believe that this is a right angle. What do you think? Let's check. This one is a right angle, so therefore these lines are perpendicular. Now let's have a look at these shapes here. Oh, they both look similar. They both got four sides. But are they all right angles? Have a look, use your right angle checker. Are all of these are all of these right angles, and if they're all right angles, then the sides are perpendicular. And then look at this shape. Has this got 4 right angles? If it has, then all the sides are perpendicular. What do you think? Let's have a look at the answer. The square. A square has 4 right angles in it. Therefore, all the sides of a square are perpendicular. It has perpendicular lines. EH is perpendicular to HG. HG is perpendicular to FG. EF is perpendicular to FG. And EF is perpendicular to EH. It's all very confusing. Here's a quick question. Does every 4-sided shape with 4 right angles and 4 sets of perpendicular lines always make a square? Oh, bit of a brain teaser there. Does every 4-sided shape with 4 right angles and 4 sets of perpendicular lines always make a square? What do you think? No, it could be a rectangle. A rectangle has 4 right angles, 4 sides and 4 sets of perpendicular lines. But in a rectangle, the sides are not all the same length. Bit of a tester there. Okay, last of all, which letters in the words lines have got perpendicular lines? So we're looking for letters with right angles. Straight away, I know that the S does not have any perpendicular lines. Not only does S not have right angles, it also doesn't have any angles. What about the other letters? Have a look. Looking to see, are they right angles? Well, it's only got 1 line, so how can it have an angle? How can I have an angle? N's got a couple of angles. Are they right angles? What about E? I think the answer is L and E. What do you think? Let's check. A right angle in L. And actually, how many right angles did you count in E? Should we count them together? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you count 4? Okay, year 3. Today's activity, so you will need your home book and pencil. There are 2 different slides for you to work through today. You don't need to draw these in your book. All I would like you to do is in your book, you're going to write down either the sentence, this pair of lines are perpendicular, or you're going to write down this pair of lines are not perpendicular. I really want you to write down those sentences because I want to make sure that you're really thinking about that word perpendicular, you're sounding it out and you're able to spell it. Because actually, if we think about it, we break it down, perpendicular. It's quite phonetic. I think you can write that quite easily. So the more we practice it, the better. And it also helps your stamina. So in your book, I'd really like those sentences. So in your book, you would write 1A, have a look at 1A. Has it got right angles? We're looking for right angles. If there are no right angles, it can't have perpendicular lines. If there are right angles, then it does have perpendicular lines. So copy those sentences really carefully for all of these shapes. And then number 2, name the sides that are perpendicular in each shape. Okay, so think about what we just did. In this triangle here, we've got the line AB, we've got the line BC, and we've got the line AC. So you need to think, is AB perpendicular to BC? Or maybe AB is perpendicular to AC? Or is BC perpendicular to AC? Where's the right angle in that shape? Okay, it is tricky. You might want to talk it through with a grown-up, but have a go. And there's a clue with B that we know there are 2 perpendicular sets of lines. You can tell that because it's got the answer written twice. We know we're looking for 2 right angles. Okay, when you finish that sheet, you can then check whether your answers are correct. Okay, I'm not going to go through the answers with you. You're going to do that yourself afterwards, and then you can email your work to us. If you would like to do a challenge, there is a challenge. in your book, using the lines in your book, can you make a shape that has 6 different sets of perpendicular lines? That's quite an almighty challenge. Do you think you are up to it? I think you are. Don't forget to label your lines, and it'd be really good if you could journal a sentence to describe the perpendicular relationship within that shape, okay? Looking forward to seeing the work that you do today. Take care, year 3. Goodbye.